Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Guys Who Stare at Stats. And, folks, the last time I talked to you about conference realignment, Colorado had just signed to join the Big 12 next year, and, well, a lot has changed, but a lot was predicted, and a lot of it went exactly like we thought it would. Oregon and Washington have both officially agreed now to join the Big Ten in 2024. They'll be joining USC and UCLA. But that's not the only news. That seems like, the dagger was imminent at any point. You knew someone was going to make a move. You didn't know if it was going to be Arizona. Arizona State and Utah were in a potential, are they going, are they leaving? Oregon, Washington were in the same boat there. But Arizona State, Utah are all joining the Big 12 as well with Colorado. So I think now it is officially safe to say the Pac-12, or at least the Pac-12 as we know it, is done. It is officially over. You have Stanford, Cal, Wazoo, and Oregon State left. That's not enough to carry a conference, obviously. Stanford and Cal, looking at them, they're going to be trying to get out as fast as possible. So are Washington State and Oregon State, I would think. They're going to be the ones trying to find an option. But unfortunately for those two, when it comes to the Cougars and the Beavers, this is a really bad position for them. And, it's nothing that they could do about it. They were pretty much trapped with everybody else. The second USC and UCLA made their move, you knew what was coming for them. You knew it was either the Mountain West or some Pac-12 Mountain West hybrid. If they are super lucky, and this is probably 1% chances best. There was a rumor I heard earlier today, maybe Washington State and Oregon State get an invite from the Big 12. I highly doubt that happens. If it did, it would be basically a miracle for those two schools. But you look at what's going to happen. Stanford and Cal is the other big picture, because I really don't know what's going to happen with them. They're one of those, the way they are set up right now, they're desperate for that Big Ten invite. They want to go to the Big Ten. They have the academics to do it. They have the athletics to do it. You look at Stanford, one of the most successful athletic departments in America right now when it comes to college sports. Cal, on the other hand, is a bit different. They've had their ups and downs. We know what they can be at times when they properly invest into it, but you look at football right now, you look at the mess that was their basketball season last year where everything was just going horribly wrong. They still have baseball that, I don't know what's going on there. Softball they're good at. That's what Cal's usually known for when it comes to softball. They're usually good enough to get into the tournament. But other than that, it's pretty bleak right now, I would say. For those four, you've got to hope that you can get some merger with the Mountain West or something going on there. But would Stanford and Cal be okay with that is the question. We could see Stanford and Cal even go independent. That wouldn't surprise me at all if those two went down and said, okay, we're going to do our own thing here if we can't get into the Big Ten. But looking at it from the other side, looking at Arizona State, Utah, this is massive for the Big 12. If you're Utah, you get the Holy War back. You get that BYU game again. It's going to be an absolutely just fun time seeing that one again, folks. I am thrilled to see that. Arizona and Arizona State get to keep their game. They keep the games with Utah. They get BYU as a permanent game, I would probably guess, as well as Colorado. You try to keep all of those going at least to the best of your ability if you're the Big 12. But, if you're looking at it from the Big 10 perspective, they've made another home run higher. You got Oregon, you got Washington. They have pretty much signed. That's basically where we're at with contracts and TV and everything. You're looking more, markets and everything there. It's just crazy to think about how much is going to be different next year. 2024, we're looking at maybe the biggest shift I can think of, definitely in recent memory. The Big East at the time felt like a big deal. It ended up not being as big as we all thought it would with the rebrand of the American and the split off there. But this is going to be one of the biggest shifts we have ever seen when it comes to conference realignment in college football. And at this point, I have no idea what's next, because you've probably seen what happened with Florida State. They had their big board meeting where they basically said, we want out or we want more money. And we'll get to Florida State when we get to Florida State. That is later on down the road, I think. But getting back to just what was the Pac-12, because it's not going to exist. In my personal opinion, I think it's done. There's going to be either some Mountain West merger, or it's just going to be Washington State and Oregon State just moving down to the Mountain West. But it's sad to see. I mean, it really is. It's sad to see, the Pac-12 was always there. For younger people like myself, you knew of it, of course, the Pac-12 After Dark, your late night random 9:30 Central where I live, 10:30 Eastern. Just so many fun memories staying up late watching those games. And it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter if it was a Washington State, if it was an Oregon, if it was, Arizona, Arizona State, even USC. You knew you were going to get an exciting game. You knew you were going to get something wild that would happen into it. And that's what makes college football great. Those weird moments as well. Not just your big teams playing whoever, but just those awkward, fun rivalries that you don't really know where they fit in if you're an outsider. But if you're in that area and you know what's going on and how big of a deal that game can be, it's absolutely fun. It's a blast watching the Pac-12, and it's a shame to see we won't get that anymore. We'll get some of those weird late-night games here and there, but it won't really have the same absurdness to it of here you are sitting, at 10 o'clock at night, and, Arizona is playing Oregon State in a game that may not seem like it has any national implication. You might just be watching it because it's the only game on, but it always kind of had a special place in being that. You knew you were going to get an entertaining product when those schools went at it in that slot, and it always brought at least a lot of meaning to me because it was something, just that final leg of the day to get through, and you knew once you got through it, you'd seen a truly great day of football, and the Pac-12 always capped that off. But folks, that will do it here for this episode. As always, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. Leave a comment down below as always. But folks, we still got conference previews going on. Pac-12 preview will be coming out on Monday. We have the Big Ten preview coming out tomorrow. Already have the Big 12 and SEC ones up. The ACC will be out sometime next week. But for all that being said, folks, as always, have a good one, everybody.